Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking now about who we are, in other words, why us and how we determine value. So, in other words, why would people pick us as a solution? So, the why us, the classic terminology for this is you're going to hear this called a lot. It's called a value proposition. In other words, the value proposition answers the question, why us? Why would somebody buy from us? So, what questions do we ask ourselves before we buy something? If we think about it from this perspective, this is what the value proposition is supposed to be helping answer for your customers. Why do we buy this brand? Why this company? Why this product? Why this service? If you really think about your purchasing habits, you're answering all of those questions every time you buy something. Now, sometimes they're answered subconsciously. It's not like you're going through this conscious evaluation every time you spend $1 on a bottle of water or you buy a book. But the bigger the purchase, the more conscious you are of the decision making criteria that you're putting yourself through. In other words, you're asking yourself, well, why a Chevy over a Ford? Why this company? How come I'm going to go buy jeans from, jeans provider A or jeans provider B? Why this product? So the larger the purchase, the more you think about it, the smaller the purchase, the more subconsciously this stuff is done. And a big thing is, why this price? Why am I paying this price for what I'm buying? So those are the questions we ask ourselves, right? But other questions that we ask when we're thinking about it is, do I trust this brand? When you're asking why this company, in your head, you're doing some sort of evaluation around, do I trust the brand? Do I trust this company? Is this why I'm buying from them? So you have to understand that typically companies and products earn trust gradually. And the way that trust is earned from corporations is they're answering customers' questions. Now, if we can answer a typical customer question before they ask it, meaning our value proposition can actually answer the question that most customers would ask, then we've created a really nice value proposition because we've put into the customer's head why choose us as they're mentally going through what their evaluation is, and they're asking questions about why do I choose the way I do. So we want to try to learn why they choose the way they do so we can create value propositions that answer those questions, which makes it easy for them to say, I know, choose us. This is why choose us. So how do you or people make buying decisions? They're typically made on two levels. One is a very logical level, another is an emotional level. We're going to talk about these a little bit. In talking to someone, it's kind of easy to see the logical, right? Well, why did you buy that hamburger? Well, because it was $4 and the other one was $40. And it was easy for me to see from a logic perspective that $4 makes more sense to spend on a hamburger than $40 does. So it's a very logical way to look at something. But then there's this emotional side. And let's go use an example I've talked about before, Dunkin' Donuts. A donut shop is a donut shop is a donut shop. If you think about it, they all provide donuts. There's not a huge price disparity typically between a donut, and it's not enough of a price disparity that it might drive your buying decision. It's typically what it is. So somebody might say, well, I go to that Dunkin' Donuts because it's right around the corner of my house, or I go to that Shipley's because it's right around the corner of my house, or I go to that Krispy Kreme because it's right on my way to work. So that's a logical answer to why somebody does something. But what about this emotional tie? I mean, people who grew up in Texas will say, oh, Shipley's, especially Houston, Shipley's is the only donuts I eat. I mean, because they have this emotional tie to Shipley's. I have an emotional tie to Dunkin' Donuts because we grew up poor. And Dunkin' Donuts every now and then would show up at our house, and it was a massive treat. So I have this great emotional connection to Dunkin' Donuts because of that. That's not an easy connection to see. That's not easy to create a value proposition around. And so you have to understand that that buying decisions are made on a logical level and an emotional level. And sometimes it's easy to identify the criteria, sometimes not so simple. So let's look at some logical things. Here's all our logical things. Product specifications. In other words, logical. I need to buy a pair of jeans. Well, is the waist size I need it to be? Is the length I need it to be? Maybe warranty. We guarantee that they're going to last a year before they have a hole in it. Price. They have to be under $100. Color. I only want blue. I don't need any of these beige and peach and weird colored jeans. Size. Ease of use. Anything directly associated with a product is considered a logical need. And those are some good examples there, like size, color, price, ease of use, warranty, product specs, etc. The emotional stuff, it's a lot less tangible. It's things like, do I feel successful? So think about bags that people carry. Somebody might just carry a knapsack over their shoulder. Someone else wants to carry a really nice leather bag because it makes them feel good about themselves. It makes them feel like they have more success. Automobiles. I mean, a Ford or a Kia, it's going to get you from place A to place B. A Mercedes isn't going to get you there differently. You're still going to go from A to B. It's going to take pretty much the same route. But maybe you have a better feeling of success when you ride in a Mercedes or a BMW or some other type of car. So that's this emotional connection, and those are less tangible. Maybe there's some pride, connected with it. Maybe there's fear. I mean, fear motivates purchases all the time. So you have to try to figure out what are the emotional reasons people buy things, not just the logical reasons people buy things, because that emotion drives buying decisions quite a bit. So let's look at the jeans. So the logical things: waist size, inseam length, color, style, probably price. Emotional: how do they fit? How do they look? How do they make you feel? I mean, when I go buy a pair of jeans, I'm just like, do they fit? Are they good? Whatever. I'm pretty much in and out. I've gone before to watch my daughter or my wife buy a pair of jeans, and it's not quite the same. They're much more into the, how do I look in these jeans? How do they make me look? How do they make certain parts of my body look? So there's a much deeper emotional connection with buying a pair of jeans. It's not the same for everybody. It might not be the same for all women. Some men might be that way. They might be like, well, how do these jeans make me look? Do they flatter my, whatever assets that they're looking to flatter? How do they fit? How do they look? How do they make me feel? Those are the emotional things that are connected to a person buying a pair of jeans. Ultimately, how they look will almost always influence a person's buying decision the most. So while people will say, remember we talked about what you ask people versus how you observe people's behavior, you always get different answers. This is another good example of that, because if you ask someone, they most of the time will say, well, I just want them to fit right, and I want the color, and as long as the price is here, I'm okay with it. But at the end of the day, if you really watch them, the jeans they buy would be about how they fit, how they make them look, how they made that person feel. And that typically will influence the buying decision the most. The emotional influences the buying decision almost always the most. So a value proposition, it's a business marketing statement. It describes why a customer should buy a product or service. It's targeted towards potential customers. It's not for your employees. It's not for your partners. It's not for your suppliers. In simple terms, it explains what benefit you provide for who and how you do it uniquely well. Notice that term, uniquely well. If you don't do anything unique, then you're just doing what everybody else does, and it's very difficult to have a value proposition as a positioning statement, because you're basically going to say, I sell water too. Think about what smart water is. Smart water tried to position themselves as water to make you smarter. Glacier water, water from a glacier. Everybody is trying to position their stuff the same. Imagine if you just sold a bottle that says water. It's just water. And they do that. And those are the people who are selling on price. Plainly labeled water is the criteria they've decided they're competing on, is pretty much price alone. We're going to get into that later. It's a very difficult way to compete. It describes your target buyer, the pain point you solve, and why you're better than alternatives. And we're going to give you some examples to help you understand this. It describes the bundle of products and services that create value for the customer. In other words, what value do we deliver? If we're looking at water, what's our value we deliver? Instant hydration. Maybe that's our value. Instant hydration. Which problem are we solving? I'm solving the fact that you are thirsty. Instant hydration, relieving your thirst. What need are we satisfying? We just talked about that. I'm thirsty. I need water. I don't want to be dehydrated. Do we offer any other bundles or services with that? If you run out of water, we instantly deliver another bottle to you, or you can refill it, or whatever it is. What makes us unique? Why is our water unique? Is it from a glacier? Is it from a spring? Is it gone through some filtering process that makes it the purest that there is out there? Does it make us smarter? Did we add chemicals to it? Or not chemicals, vitamins to it? Did we do something to it to make it unique? Things to consider. Okay. Market research shows that customers want most from almost any business is good old-fashioned service. How well do we service our customer? If you make customer service first, or a very, very top priority in the way you make decisions, typically things will come out better for you when you're building value proposition. Unique, what makes you different? What can they get only from you? Our water is the only water available from a Norwegian spring that, starts 1,600 zillion miles beneath the earth. It doesn't matter what. What makes you unique? Price. Price is not a great strategy. You want to offer other benefits. If you're selling only on price, then the only way you compete is on price. So if somebody else decides to try to undercut you, the only thing you have to offer is lowering your price. Every time you lower your price, you lower your margin. At some point, you can't be profitable. And we talked about this with the Kid Cone example. If you think about it on one of our other modules, where we talked about that they were selling it for less than it cost them to manufacture it. Well, clearly you can't be a profitable business if that is your strategy. So what do you have to consider? Your image. How do I want people to look? How do I want them to think about my business? This happens a lot when you're thinking about premium brands, luxury brands. It's all about image. Is the personality of the business friendly? Convenience? Are we easy to buy from? Are we easy to do business with? Yes, you can buy online. I'll ship it straight to your door. You can come into one of our stores and pick up if you've ordered it online. You can buy straight in the store if that's what you want. In other words, how convenient is it? How convenient are you for your customers? Simple things, if you have an actual location, when are you open? Are you accessible? Is there parking? How do you look? Does my website support what I say I do? You'd be amazed at how many times all of the marketing materials for companies don't jive. Their website has one message, a brochure has a different message, and their salesperson talking to you is saying a third message. Is all of that stuff in sync? Are all of the things giving and talking about the same message, the same value, the same things that make your business unique? So Coca-Cola, right? What makes them unique? Their formula. It's a closely guarded secret. Their brand name. It's exclusive. Volvo, if you think about that, it's all about safety and reliability. I mean, if you think of Volvo and you ask somebody, most people around, what do you think of Volvos? They're going to go, oh yeah, they're really safe cars. Oh yeah, they're really reliable. That's what they've decided to build their business around. That's what they've decided makes them unique, right? It focuses on safety. Volvo cars are positioned as uniquely safe and uniquely reliable. The reality is Volvo is owned by a Chinese company. I just throw that in there as a little something to think about. McDonald's. What is McDonald's? They actually say they stand for friendliness, cleanliness, consistency, and convenience. If you were to talk to most customers, 2 of those 4 would probably be spoken about the most. Convenience, yeah, they're easy to get to, they're everywhere. And consistency, it doesn't matter if I get a Big Mac in Colorado, California, or Massachusetts, a Big Mac is a Big Mac is a Big Mac. It's pretty consistent in its delivery. You always know what you're going to get. FedEx, they're known for fast delivery. I have to get there when you absolutely positively have to get it there overnight. FedEx. By a specific time. Their whole deal is making life easier for customers. So here's a few more value prop examples from things that have kind of been more lately, like Stripe. Web and mobile payments built for developers. It's an easy way for people to pay for things. It's a set of tools that empower businesses to do online payments. And so Stripe has said, basically, we have built something for web and mobile payments. And by the way, we've built it for developers, so it's easy to tie into. Developers and business owners is their target market. Simplified and streamlined payments is their benefit. What makes them unique? Emphasis on simplicity. Emphasis on simplicity. Let's look at Lyft. Rides in minutes. Rides in minutes. Clearly, just that alone tells you everything you need to know about them. On-demand car service, that's what their product is. It's a simple method for getting people from point A to point B, replacing a taxi. Primary benefit, immediate response. Rides in minutes, that's pretty immediate. So the primary benefit is an immediate response. Not hard to figure out. Their value prop, rides in minutes, tells you about everything you need to know. What makes them unique? Local service, no delays. Really simple. There's another one, Uber. Let's compare it to Lyft. Get there, your day belongs to you. If you think about that, it tells you everything you need to know. Get there. Get where? Get wherever you're going. Okay, your day's yours. We don't want you wasting time. That's what that says. Get there, your day belongs to you. When you hear that or read that, immediately all I'm thinking about is, I will not be wasting any time. It's a low-cost taxi service. People who need on-demand transportation, eliminates the frustrations of travel. What makes them unique? This proposition focuses on the needs of the customer. They use the word you. Your day belongs to you. So they're trying to make it all about you, which is always good because we had just talked about before, customer service and making it about the customer is a great way to be successful. Target, expect more, pay less. Is there anything else that you need to know about that? Expect more, meaning more good service, more products, more selection. Expect more. They didn't get specific of the more because they let your imagination fill the more in, but they're telling you that you will pay less. They have thousands of SKUs across many industries. They're targeting cost-conscious shoppers. Quality products at lower prices than competition. Expect more, which means I can expect a more quality product. Pay less, which means I should pay less than I would at a competitor. What makes it unique? They're saying you don't have to compromise on price or quality, that you can have both. That's what they're saying with a very simple value prop of expect more, pay less. Let's look at Walmart. Save money, live better. Now, Walmart, if you talk to most customers, they say it's all about cheap products. And so they lead with that. You will save money. They're leading with saving money. But they say you can live better. They're not saying that their products are great. They're not saying that they're their best. They're just saying that you can slightly live better. You can be better than where you are now. So they have almost any product a customer wants. They target lower and middle class bargain shoppers. You get to buy things that make your life better without a heavy price tag. There's no huge price tag attached to making life better. And by saying live better, they've again let the customer imagine and fill in what better is. They've let them define it, which is a good thing because better is different to everyone. Let's do this last one, Spotify. I know a lot of you probably are using Spotify. Spotify, music for everybody. It's just music for everyone because they offer country, classical, rock, it doesn't matter what. If you want to listen to some sort of music, Spotify has it. Online streaming, they target families and single people alike. It's music on the go. What makes them unique? It's music for everyone. That's what makes them unique. Mom, dads, kids, singles. It's not country music for everyone. It's not rock music for everyone. It's music for everyone. So what makes them unique is that they're saying, hey, if you have some sort of music you like, whatever your musical taste is, it is all right here in our one app. So here's a simple development example. You're going to be able to look at it on the slides. I'm not going to take you through it, but you want to kind of define the services you offer, talk about the problems you solve, talk about what makes you different, develop your value prop, and then you would actually move that through to your sales message. But this is a complete developmental example of how you would build a value prop. So we had talked about this great idea, Stitch Fix for Dogs, in the last video. Remember that? Stitch Fix for Dogs, over 40 pounds, we want to give them clothes. So here's your assignment. I want you to write a value proposition for the Stitch Fix for Dogs business idea on the previous slide. All the details are on Blackboard. Remember, something simple, Target, expect more, pay less, Walmart, save money, live better, Lyft, rides in minutes, Uber, get there, your day belongs to you. I'm looking for a one sentence-ish, you can do more if you think you need it, something short, value proposition for Stitch Fix for Dogs. Just submit it on Blackboard, go there for the details. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what value proposition is about and how buying decisions are made, both from a logical and an emotional level. And that's all we have for this module. Thank you so much for contributing.